Hey, I'm Jason Goldstein, and you're watching RespectTheNext.com.
Could you tell us what are some of the current misconceptions as far as producing ghosts today? Because I sort of feel like people feel like they can just get their Mac and purchase any sort of program and become their, sort of own producer and create kind of their own sound sort of situation. So what would you say was like misconceptions or how the industry has changed in terms of everyone having what they feel is access to producing their own projects?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, obviously, with the advent of digital recording and having all the sound libraries, playing has become less important. You don't get real players on a record as much as you used to, and I think that's really sort of sterilized the business, the sound of the music. Also, the fact that you can put everything in perfect time and in perfect pitch. If you listen to any great record, and I mean pre 2003 even, like, there's mistakes, there's pitch issues, there's timing issues, and that's what makes it human. The greatest records of all time are pitchy and out of tune in some places, and that there's timing issues and there's mistakes in the record. But that's what makes it feel human. So I think that we've sort of stripped the life to a certain extent out of these records. They're very straight ahead and perfect, like a computer program. There's no mistakes. And that goes with hand in hand with that goes a number of different issues. It means you don't have the quality of singers anymore. Before, just going back to not even that long ago, Celine Dion and Mariah Carey, like, we didn't tune them. Like, they had to hit the note, and that meant singing it as many times as it took to hit the note. And so, you really got a real performance out of these people. On top of that, the fact that you can record literally hundreds of tracks means you don't have to make a decision. Songs typically were written with a beginning, a middle, and an end, and it built as the song went, and you had to commit to X number of instruments because there was a finite number of tracks available to you to record. So you had to write songs. You couldn't just keep throwing stuff at a record until it stuck. You know what I mean? People get layers and layers of sounds, and really, you just don't need it. Just strip it out and make it, it just makes a mess.
Yeah.
Just common recording practices, people just, because you can do something doesn't mean that you should.
Absolutely.
Just because you have a microphone, and I get it for demos and that kind of thing.
Right.
But air conditioning hum, which is with 60 cycle hum, and trucks rolling by, and clicks and pops and buzzes will destroy a record. I get that now, and it's handed to me, and they go, well, why doesn't it sound like Beyonce? And I'm like, because it doesn't, because it never will. And that's because it's recorded in a bedroom or a bathroom or a closet in your house, and it just on a inexpensive microphone,
right.
it sounds bad. And so it's become a problem. It's a double-edged sword. It means people can create that weren't able to create, and they can get product out there,
right.
But they don't understand. Everything I get to is super loud and compressed, which means it's just squeezed within an inch of its life. And there's no dynamics in the record anymore. And they hand it to me, and they go, it's lifeless. And I'm like, yeah, because you squeezed all the life out of it before you handed it to me. I can try and build that back into it,
right.
But there's only so much that I can do.
I think most people think you're just like a magic or a magician.
Well, there's a term, fix it in the mix.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, we'll just fix it in the mix. We'll just fix it in the mix. And there is a number of things that you can do. I can manufacture dynamics, and I can tune vocals, and I can clean up muddy audio, but only to a point. And it totally, as far as my job goes, that's like busy work. That's like there's nothing creative about fixing somebody else's mistakes before I even start mixing a record. Organizing the record, nothing's labeled, so I have to even figure out what's on each track. I don't have any idea. I don't know if the lead vocal is this track or if it's this track, you know. And so what we're missing is that you used to have to go into, even if it was a demo studio, there was a certain level of expertise that the people working there had to have, a basic working knowledge of engineering. You're working with tape machines and consoles, you know, of capturing, you know, a proper sound of a vocal or a drum, or even if it was an MPC back in the day. You know, you couldn't overload the tape. You know, you had to be really careful of that kind of thing. So it's just a matter of, you know, really like learn your craft. If you want to do it, guys, go take a quick course in engineering. You know what I mean? And learn the basics of signal flow and loudness and that kind of thing. And you will go a long way. Everybody thinks that their record has to be this super loud, bright thing, you know, but you're not leaving any room for me to do my job, let alone like the mastering engineer. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that's one of the big battles I have to fight on a daily basis.
I'm doing that.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, it has been a pleasure speaking with you here today.
My pleasure.
Meeting you.
Thank you.
Could you let us know if anyone is interested in your services or how they can contact you or?
Sure. I have a website, www.jasongoldsteinmixer.com. It's got my discography and my bio and examples of mixes, and you can there's a contact me form, and you can just fill it out and hit me up. You know, I love working with new and up and coming artists as well as established, so you know, I try not to turn down any gig. You know,
That's
I'm
important to
happy
point out.
Yeah. You know, I mean, you never know what the next big thing is going to be.
Absolutely.
So it's true. You got to respect the next. It's like you don't know who the next big person is. So I'm happy to work with just about anybody. You know.
Great. Well, you've heard it from the man himself. Make sure to check out this interview and everything else on respectthenext.com. Again, I'm Empress Elliott Monroe, here with the wonderful Jason Goldstein.